What's going on? What's going on? What can't we not allowed to be in a happy mood?
No.
But this is McKola and Howson Uncensored. The place where people come to feel happy about life.
Really?
Sometimes.
Comments don't look like
when
that.
you're not on. It's your show, but they come here for happiness when you're not here. How you doing?
Yeah, mate.
You alright? We're allowed to do that? No?
Not allowed to do that.
Not allowed to do that. Just touch
Don't touch me.
Sorry. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Don't
International
you just
break
hate
is
everything?
almost over. All right, you just moan. You just carry on. Get all your moan.
All right, cool. Well, we got to wrap up we've got a meeting in half an hour. So.
Thought this was our meeting.
No,
This is our weekly meeting, guys, where we come and discuss where the future of Stretford Paddock is going. Right for you. We're here to talk about all things football. International break's over. Thank God for that. What was your favourite thing about the international break?
Oh, not leaving my house.
Oh yeah, because we got locked. Well, I never. It just meant that I had to stay at home because I couldn't come into my place of work, which is here. Because a certain man that likes to play golf, likes to vote Trump, likes to do all these things, decided to bring the Rona into the office.
Yep.
It's a worry that.
Well, here's what's the interesting thing about this, because this is obviously the closest brush we've had with the Rona, or the plandemic, as Ronaldo calls it. So the closest brush we've had with it is Alex literally brought it in. Literally walked in here. I remember sitting in this exact spot as he walked in through that door there, stood there, coughing, sneezing and everything. I went, "You've defo got the Rona." And he's like, "I'm not, I've got a cold." I'm like, "Whatever, Rona." And then he had the Rona. And it was literally there. And there was, this office is, we have got social distancing. We've even got tape on desks and all sorts in here.
Yeah, it's changed today. We've put some effort in.
We're all good. We've got an app. We've had the hand sanitizer on the walls for moons. But the fact that Alex walked in here, snottering. I mean, sorry, I retract Alex. It was not Alex. It was someone who plays golf and
Votes Trump.
yeah. It's unfair to name him.
Yeah, it's not fair.
But it was Alex.
Track and Trace named him though.
But Track and Trace named him. And then Track and Trace got hold of me and Joe and basically went, "Yeah, so your whole office is just going home now." And
well, Joe was scared, so he didn't leave his house straight away.
and then he got.
Yeah, Joe is the shook one of the group. So he immediately was out. I hadn't seen Alex.
He's like a turtle with a shell, isn't he?
Yeah, but just stuck on his back. Little Joe, he's stuck on his back. But yeah, I never seen Alex that day, so I was fine. So I was just sat at home doing nothing, no Rona. Did anybody else catch it?
No, and here's the thing: is about half of us went for tests because as soon as he told me, I got a sore throat. Like, and that's not that, and I was aware of it as well.
Like
I was like, I felt sound half an hour ago. Now I've got a sore throat. I've definitely got the Rona, and I went and got a test, and I didn't have the Rona, and I did gag in my car again. Third test I've had that. Not had it yet.
I haven't had a test yet, once, but I've basically been tested because my brother lives with me. He works in a care home, so he gets tested every week. He hasn't got it, so I must not have it. Because if he had it, I'd have it, right?
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah,
that's right, basically.
But the fact that it came in here, with someone who sounds like Schmalix, and
Peter Schmalix.
Yeah, and we didn't get it, even though the whole office got locked up. So, you know, I think that Track and Trace is a load of bollocks. There was somebody in the office. He's not suspicious or out, but somebody in the office didn't get the alert on the same day. All of us got the alert. Got it 2 days ago, and it was like, you need to lock up for 2 days, and it was like, what?
So he was supposed to get it with 14 days.
Yeah.
And he got it for the last
They'd only just caught up with him, and it sends you a thing saying, right, 2 days, lock up. And actually, because it only goes till midnight, it was basically a day and a half. So like, oh, by the way, you might have been going around coughing and sneezing and potentially infecting people, but just cool it for another like day and a half.
Can I tell you a secret? I don't have that app. I genuinely fuck that app. Listen, the only place I go is home, here, and goals. Literally it. It's the only place I go.
No, the app's mandatory, right?
When I go goals, I pay on the goals app. So if I get Rona there, they're going to holler me because I've already tracked and traced on the goals app. But
the app's mandatory.
I ain't downloading no Tory app.
The app's shit.
I ain't downloading that.
The app in here.
Someone will tell me if I've got it. Right?
The app in here. Yeah, that's what the app was supposed to do. The nightmare is when you come in here with the app, because this is an office block and it only sees in 2D. I don't know if the app's looking at everyone's little dot on the map and going, oh, loads of them in there, because there's like that floor.
Yeah.
So every time you come in here, it'd be like, you're at risk, and you click on it, and there's nothing there. When you click it, just all disappears, and you're like, this is a lot of bollocks, this.
Yeah, it is. I don't have it. I'm not getting it. Plandemic.
Oh yeah, Alex said he's fine, by the way.
It wasn't Alex, but he's fine.
Yeah, no one asked.
You had to watch a game from home like David Moyes?
Oh, coach a game from home.
Yeah. How was that?
Well, we lost.
David Moyes never.
So what does that tell you?
David
Are
Moyes.
West Ham better without Moyes?
David Moyes is a genius. And you may be a genius because they lost when you weren't there. Were you passing messages on?
Yeah, they didn't get through.
During the game?
I was fuming.
They didn't get through?
No, they didn't.
Did you make a sub?
I was trying to.
So how was this working?
It didn't.
How was it supposed to work?
To be honest, I was going to leave Pete in charge.
Yeah. Never leave a
and then we
Scouser in
conceded.
charge.
Man, maybe that might have been an issue. I mean, Pete's a good coach. Actually, the whole coaching staff's pretty good.
Apart from Kartik.
Obviously. Although he stopped shouting at refs temporarily. Someone told me, actually, they all stopped shouting at refs last week. When I weren't there. What's all that about?
Did it just try to show you they care more?
I don't know. Anyway.
Pathetic.
What I was trying to do, we went 2-0 down in the first half. 2 preventable goals. Will, who's on the 1s and 2s here.
Don't say anything bad about Will because I love Will.
Missed an header.
Defensively header.
You said caught it in.
Header.
Yeah. He says he caught it in the sun. You didn't catch anything, mate. That was the fucking issue.
Go on, give your excuse. Ball's coming. I know what you mean. When it crosses over like an eclipse and you're like, whoa. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm blinded, so the second I'm trying to clear it.
Right, he's talking about being blind. He's talking about...
He had Rona. He
Yeah.
was blind. Sun was in his eyes.
All I can hear is excuses.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. They went and scored. So now we go behind. No one cares if it's a good finish. I care that it's 1-0 down. Then everyone switches off at a throw-in. You can go watch the game if you want on the Stretford Paddock FC channel.
Go too far.
But yeah, so half-time, I went, right, here's what we need. I want some men on the pitch. Because we are a very young team, but we do have a couple of older, more experienced heads on the bench. I want some men on the pitch. I want to fucking go for it. I think my exact wording was, I want 4 forwards. Right? I messaged, we have a production group, which in there, I mean, Will's in there, but obviously he's playing, so he wasn't going to get the message. The wife's in there, Patterson's in there, Mitzi's in there, Dave Pritt's in there. All of these guys, they all looked at it and went, oh, someone else will make sure that the coaching staff get that message. And everyone just didn't send them. I ended up getting my dad, go and tell him this. He didn't get it till after the game. I got Ben to eventually go. I was like, are you at the game? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, go show him this. And my message was, fullbacks off, forwards on, go for it. They didn't do that. They just did like-for-like subs all the way through to the end. We was playing a team in a low block. To counter a low block, you've got to put more men in there and go for it. I mean, we played good football. We had 20 shots. Some of them were conversions. But ultimately not good enough.
You're not as good as David Moyes.
No.
Which is a damn shame.
No. Apart from that, we'd gone, prior to last weekend, we'd gone 3 for 3 in the league. Good start.
Well, you're not going to go unbeaten in Saturday League. Just not going to happen. Moving on from that, though, there is lots to talk about, especially with Manchester United returning this weekend. Newcastle United coming up. Harry Maguire. Now, I've already given my opinion on him on the daily news show that we do, on the video that I did on the preview. I haven't heard your opinion on Harry Maguire and the whole thing. Does he be in or out of this team on the weekend?
He's going to be in it.
Should he be in it?
No.
Why?
He's clearly not right, mentally. And I saw Mo Butt tweet something earlier, and I thought, yeah, I agree with that. Which was normalise mental health breaks. People go, game's gone soft. Mental health breaks. Fergie did it to Schmeichel in '99.
Ronaldo.
He's done it to Ronaldo. He's done it. Fergie was maybe one of the best man managers in the game. It was good enough for him to do it 20 years ago. It's good enough for anyone to do it now. And I think Harry Maguire, dealing with being given the captaincy, the pressure, obviously a team that limped over the line. We're not playing at our best, and I think one of the major reasons for all of this is United's style of play has changed. We was a team that let the opposition have the ball, draw them onto us, and then we hit you with absolutely blistering pace. James, Marshall, Rashford, have it. Getting in behind, pockets of space. The issue is, when you have a defender like Maguire, he can win you headers. He's very good at that. He can marshal a back line quite well. And he can. People will be like, no, he fucking can't. Well, he obviously can, clearly. You know, and he was fantastic for England. Yeah, and there's a reason he cost £80 million. We didn't literally just go to the local park and go, you. And some people were like, well, maybe we should because you'll find better. You won't. You fucking won't.
That's what you get, Will. Who gets a son who decides.
Yeah, and you start telling you about fucking losing the ball. Anyway, so you can have him for more. If you bid 80 million, I'll give you Will. How about that? I'll let you have him.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to him.
Will's worth more than 80 million to me,
though. I think he's got, never mind, red and black leather thong, tiger print. That's what he's got.
Maguire or Will?
Will.
Okay. I was going to say, if Maguire's wearing one of those, that's definitely his problem whilst playing.
But Will wear that for 80 mil. You do whatever you want to him. Anyway, so...
Number 5 on the back of it.
Will is number 5 as well.
All right, go on.
I've totally lost what
Maguire's
I was talking about.
mental health breaks.
Anyway, so... when you're a counter-attacking team, people see this as a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. Sir Alex Ferguson's great teams were built on a combination of being possession and counter-attacking at different times. United's great strength was being counter-attacking. Like I said, it draws everyone onto you and it allows space. The more you contract, the more the opposition pushes up. When they push up, they leave space in behind. When an opposition plays in a low block against United, it nullifies our best assets. Dan James, Marcus Rashford. These guys that need to run into space. They're not messy. They're not one matter. These are players that need 20, 30 metres to run into. You take away that space, it nullifies them to a large degree. And the opposite happens at the back. When you start holding possession and teams sit in a low block against you, you start creeping up the pitch. And as all of the goals pretty much that you saw against Spurs, Aaron Maguire's just in fucking no man's land near the halfway line. If you contrast that to some of the chances...
back weirdly at some point.
Well, you've got my own opinions on that. The stuff that you saw from United, I mean, this United team last season conceded 3 less goals than the Scousers. I didn't see people having fucking long-lasting debates on how bad that defence was. 3 of them got nominated for Ballon d'Or rankings. So, like, out of the 4. And the keeper did as well. So 4 out of the 5 defensive assets of Liverpool, which only conceded 3 less than United did, was in the mixer for the best ever.
Our defence never passed that eye test last year. I know statistically it was better, but there were times last season where we all felt a little bit nervy.
Undoubtedly.
Now, Maguire did improve us, and I don't think our defensive issues are all down to Maguire, but I feel like at this moment, playing him through this is doing more harm than good. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and this is a guy that played every minute last year. And like I said, I think very much of what happened last year, what's happened this year, what's different? I think it's the possession. I think us holding 10% more possession means that we're further up the pitch, which means that when we lose possession, he's got 20 yards to run back and it exposes his lack of pace. I think it's literally as simple as that.
Not pre-season, lack of.
I mean, yeah, that's a factor. The issue on the pre-season thing, and it's, if you look, I mean, we're only a point off City. You know, with everything they've spent, the biggest, most expensively assembled squad in the world, we're only a point off them. With the greatest manager that's ever walked the face of the earth. Fucking do me a favour. So, I think that the lack of pre-season is hurting more than one club. I think we're going to have an entirely topsy-turvy season. I would not be surprised to see Everton be the beneficiaries and stick around in there. You know, or
it'd be one of the lowest league-winning teams in a while.
Yeah, not quite Leicester, but maybe a bit of a shock in there. And a bit of a shock would be like Everton coming second, let's be honest. That would be a massive shock.
I got a feeling it could surprise a few.
Yeah, this has got...
Especially with Ancelotti.
What, are they 4 out of 4 at the minute? Do you remember when it was like this with Leicester and like 7 out of 7, 8 out of 8? And you're like, oh.
I think this could age the video quite badly in like 12 hours, but I think they'll beat Liverpool as well this weekend.
I don't. I think it's a draw. I think it's a high-scoring draw and one of the most competitive Merseyside derbies in a long time. Or they bum them 5-0 and we go, fucking hell. And it wasn't competitive. But, you know, they've got one of the worst records in a derby of anybody in a derby.
It's the Liverpool team that lost 7-2 against Villa.
I don't think that lightning strikes twice in this instance, and I'm well happy to jinx it. And trust me, if it does,
Old Trafford.
I'll clip it up myself.
But
yeah, I think that there's multiple factors at play, but the pre-season one, I think, is both valid and not valid at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Paradoxically, I think the lack of pre-season has caused many issues in the squad. But when you're making mistakes in 5 minutes of a match, that's not pre-season, that's concentration. And I don't think they're coming into the... Like, you can be tired. Footballers, professional athletes are always operating at tired, like by the nature of their lifestyle. But you're coming into a game 5 minutes. I don't know how you justify basic schoolboy errors like that, basic things that you just usually get right. And that's not pre-season. That I don't know what that is.
Isn't that down to, again, obviously down to 10 men, and a lot of our issues this season have been down to poor individual errors. We know that. But isn't the defence something we're seeing missing from Ollie's artillery in terms of him maybe showing a weakness in that he can't drill that defence, or he can't coach a defence that is strong enough? Because we've seen, like, going forward, we looked good against Spurs.
It's almost record-breaking defence.
Yeah, but look at this season. It looks uncoached. If your defence played like that on a Sunday, you'd be like, if your left-back was at centre-back and your centre-back was at left-back and there's goals going in like that, your keeper's screaming his head up, you'd be worried and you'd say, next day in training, we're sorting this shit out. It feels like a team that's not drilled at the back.
I know what you mean. And I'm seeing all of the same questions brought up. There's a guy the other day saying you need more experience in the coaching staff. And I was like, more experience than Mike Phelan?
Yeah. I find it hard to criticise someone that I'm not seeing their work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get to see what happens on the training pitch, so how can I criticise? It's like with a director of football, like, ultimately don't know what the fuck they're going to do, so I can't really give you a great opinion on that. But what I see on the pitch and what I see out on there, it doesn't look great. Do you know what I mean? Well,
the bald fella was saying something before about he's heard some rumours of people don't respect Maguire. McKenna. And I go, well, I'm not sure about that. No, I don't know if that's the case. I don't, Carrick's a bit of a nice guy. Maybe sometimes you do need different personalities in there. Like, Ollie obviously has more of a harder edge personality, but maybe he's not quite, do you need Roy Keane? I think the team needs leaders. And you listen to Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, even Gary Neville, and even the likes of Giggs and Scholes, who you never think are shouty leader types. You fucking try dropping 1% in training, and I think they would have fucking hammered you. Rio
Giggs usually had that look, didn't he? Where he just...
Yeah, like, that's just not acceptable. And even that... I think it was on The Life of Ryan where he said someone went and sat in his seat, because you can imagine 20 years in the first team, that's his seat. You don't sit in that corner. Yeah. Him and Scholes sit next to each other, which is well cool, by the way. That's their corner. He said, was it Januzaj or someone like that had like come in, and he was like, oi. And you think, but that all ties into the sort of standards, which even Wayne Rooney was a keeper of in his time at United.
He was a great captain for that, like, because captains do a lot off the pitch, don't they, in terms of family liaison?
Probably more so,
and he was great at that, apparently.
Well, I know this, and there was an appointment. There was the lady we went and met in Australia and Singapore, that first team liaison lady, she only came in after Rooney went, because Rooney did her job in terms of distributing tickets to people for matches and stuff. Like, Wayne Rooney did that. Remember when I got nicked at Arsenal?
Yeah, that was a good time to be alive.
On Fellaini's ticket?
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney had to have a conversation with Fellaini about someone getting nicked on his ticket. It's quite funny.
It's quite funny, yeah.
But Joe, like you said, off the pitch, the captain has a lot of responsibilities that you don't know. Obviously, Harry Maguire now isn't sorting out. Well, no one's sorting out tickets for anyone at the moment, because that's just not a fucking thing anyone has to worry about. But there's all sorts of random shit that you won't imagine. There's probably quotes he has to give to the website, to MUTV, to 5 different sponsors, every single game. There's all these little extra things that pile up on you that he might not have been ready for. And I don't think playing for Leicester in the Premier League prepares you for Manchester United in the Premier League.
I did say that at the time, that I felt it was too soon for him.
It was, but what's the alternative?
Like, I just felt like he hadn't earned it. And you're then almost like we're in the position now where Ollie probably feels like, well, I have to start him. He's my captain, 80 million, centre back.
Which is why he says he's got a knock.
Yeah.
And you go, fucking how's it?
Yeah, I've got to start him, he's probably saying. And it's like, well, has he earned it? And I don't think he has earned the armband anyway. I still think he was our best centre-half last year, but he definitely took a dip towards the end. And I think just for his safety, take him out of the team. Look, it's not... Even if we lose against Newcastle, it's not going to be because we didn't play Maguire, because he's played poorly for ages.
To be fair, when I did my preview earlier, I was talking about that, and I said, what's your options? All right, you want to drop Maguire, I want to drop Maguire.
Baye Lindelof kept a clean sheet in the last game together.
There's no way Baye plays 3 games in a week.
But see, we shouldn't be. So why isn't that the case for Maguire? Why don't we never think, oh, we can't play him every fucking game?
Because
I know
Maguire
Baye has his injury issues,
that's it.
But he hasn't. He's fit. He played 90 minutes in the last game.
Is he?
Well, Baye, is he ever really fit? Do you know what I mean?
But this is what I'm saying. So Maguire played 38 games in the Premier League last year. How many Baye play?
Probably about 2.
Right.
If that.
So you're asking that guy to go from 2 Premier League games to now play 2 international games and a Premier League game.
Who played 38 games and suffered a clear dip in his form to continue doing the same thing.
I'm not disagreeing, and I said I would drop him.
Yeah, no, I know.
But the alternative is play a guy that ain't gonna. So your option is to play a guy that's never played, probably in 2 years, played 3 games in a week. You want him to play 3 games in a week?
I love a bit of hot sauce to go for it.
I like a bit of hot sauce. All right, but if that doesn't work, and if Solskjaer's maybe he's come back this week, because I went to the Lowry the first week or the first couple of month or so that he'd signed Baye, and he was limping around the hotel. You're like, what the fuck is up with him? I think it came out that it was Achilles or an ankle or something like that, and you think he was literally bare chested walking around a 4-star hotel. He's just not fucking off his rocker, innit? But like really wincing and limping in pain. So I don't know if the guy plays through the pain a lot, whether sometimes it gets too much. I don't know what this situation is.
It was even like when he got injured that day, like, well, when he looked like he had cramp in the end, but we initially thought it was a hamstring, and he came out, yeah, just a bit tired, and you all sat there thinking, but are you though? Are you really injured? And you're just not saying anything, so Solskjaer's not sitting at home thinking, oh, for fuck's sake.
But that's it. So they trained today. I'm sure he probably has gone in on someone and fucking broke something. But if let's say he's not available, right? So Baye came back, he struggled today in training. Victor. Axel's not played in about a year, it feels like.
He was at the last, well, he played, didn't he play in some sort of game towards the end of the season?
So I'm in the Youth Cup in five years ago.
Was the last match day squad he was in was Liverpool, really? When he came out injured? That's not. I'm sure he was involved in a squad towards the end of the season.
Go on, who scored for us, Billiam?
And he may have come off the bench. Have
who
a look
scored,
at that. The other options are Axel Tuanzebe.
Hang on, are we live?
Phil Jones, Marcos Rojo.
What? No. All right.
Marcos Rojo.
I saw a live streaming page behind the thing. And I was like,
imagine that. That's the day when you piss me off. That's the way I end your career. So we're just going to film this. Don't worry. Press start streaming.
Oh, I'm not live for how many hours every other day anyway.
Yeah, but you know when you're live.
Do I though? Good,
do people even care what we say?
Pop your head around the corner. Look at that. Look at that in there.
Fucking hell. Just it's like a husband owns a joint.
Oh, fuck me.
There you go.
Right, there's no results to display on who scored, Will said. Right, so you can't even see when his last game was.
Who scored is down.
Okay, now.
Axel Tuanzebe.
It was a running joke on my preview. Phil Jones and Axel Tuanzebe are injured.
Yeah, because for a long time we've had no injuries apart from them two, right?
So my preview notes was always boop, 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 boop. Injured.
Axel played 5 games, 10 games in 10 games last season. 0 so far.
Five Premier League, couple in Europe. So yeah, Tuanzebe, if fit, first choice, not an issue. But he's not fit. And I don't even know if he'll travel.
Baye first choice if he's fit, not fit.
All right, so what is it? Phil Jones? He's still injured, isn't he? Is he injured? Is he even registered?
I don't know. Forget Phil Jones.
Right, so what's your option? Mengi? All right, the other alternative is to switch to a back three. You switch to a back three.
Hold on, we just struggled to find 2 centre halves.
Right, but you can make up for that.
Yeah.
With Shaw or Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Could that work with both of them?
Fucking hell no. Right?
4 fullbacks would be like England.
Or it'd be an absolute shit show. It'd be a hand grenade in a shit show. Let me finish. So, who did Newcastle play up front?
Callum Wilson.
And?
Andy Carroll. And that little dude, Almiron.
Joe Linton. Right. So
Maximilian.
So that looks like the door at a Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And you don't want to go in.
No. But that looks like a door staff at a Wetherspoons. Do you think they'd absolutely wipe the floor aerially with Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, and Luke Shaw?
Yeah.
So that's why we're not playing them three.
Eric Bailly's playing. I'll tell you why Eric Bailly's playing.
Old slabhead.
Because he's going to fuck every one of them up. Bailly is on stuff, you know. Now, seriously, I think he's going to play. Yeah, but you just saying all that makes me think Maguire's going to start.
It fucking is.
But
I logicked it out myself.
But
I was
that's
like,
the
right,
thing.
Here we go. What's the crack here?
He shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't.
For his own good, even if we have to play McTominay in defence, just
and
take
I wouldn't rule
him
that
out.
out either.
He played there for Scotland this week in
Wouldn't
the back
rule
three.
that out.
I'd rather Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, though.
Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Lindelof.
No, I'd rather Wan-Bissaka or Shaw than McTominay in my back three.
Yes.
Just
but you got to
because
look at what you're facing.
True. So Beyonce.
And I'd leave if you got some Maxim against Wan-Bissaka's a fair fight. I think interesting fight, good tussle. A lot. This is Steve Bruce. He's gonna 4-5-1 the living shit out of it.
I would feel that's the thing. I feel I could bully our defence, and that's the problem. Not Maguire or Bailly, but I could bully the fuck out of Victor Lindelof, bro, and all them lot. I'd bully him. Probably wouldn't score, but I know every aerial ball you're just giving it them a little bit, and they can't take it. It's like what Troy Deeney said. You don't want to play against Eric Bailly, but you'll go and isolate Victor Lindelof or someone.
And people do.
It's just frustrating. You're confident about the game on Saturday? I am, weirdly. I feel like Bruno's just pissed off.
I'm gonna make a statement.
All right, another one.
No, different statement. We are going to have a better performance against PSG than Newcastle because we will play without the ball against PSG and we'll play with the ball against Newcastle and we will do nothing with it.
Is the PSG first one away?
Yes. Isn't it mad that you don't know whether it's home or away no more?
Because we don't have to. Because the only place I'm coming to watch the game is here. It's like, fuck's sake.
We could have, to be fair, shout out to Salford Reds. What a year they're having, kinda, or last 12 months they're having. Last year, first ever grand final at Old Trafford. We were there, 70,000 of us. Got twatted by St Helens. Doesn't matter.
Rugby League.
Rugby League, that's an achievement, that is, for Salford. That is, I think they might have even been bigger odds than Leicester. Right? Bananas. Right. Next up.
Good straight. I'm just...
Challenge Cup.
Just here
Challenge
for a
Cup
good time.
final, Wembley. They haven't been there since 1969. I don't even think they won it in 69. I think they last won it in the 30s. And somehow we've ended up in a fucking another final. I remember a conversation I had with my dad last year because I was doing some work for Warrington. And I said, if Warrington asked me to go to the Challenge Cup final, I might go because I'm never going to get a chance to go with Salford, am I? And he went, no. We've never, and this is before, and then in the next year we've gone to a Super League Grand Final and a Challenge Cup final. But I was right. Salford do get to a Challenge Cup final and no fans are allowed.
Rugby League. Remember we went Rugby League? I'm a Rugby League expert now. I should have just done what everyone else did and just because that should have became a thing. That's what everyone's doing with NFL these days, isn't it? They're now NFL experts hoping Sky Sports sign them up. I'm going to get on that.
Pick a random sport.
Yeah. I might just, I've started enjoying basketball. I might just become a basketball expert. Next thing you know, I'll be on Sky, me and Joe, dressed in our basketball shorts.
More obscure. Go more obscure.
With the sport?
Yeah. I'm going to become an arm wrestling expert.
Kabaddi.
We did that at training.
I got a big audience in India. I think we could take off doing kabaddi.
I like it. I was just rugby tackling dudes. I don't know if that's the thing.
Yeah. Kabaddi, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, touch, and then
it's a bit like British Bulldog, a little bit. British Bulldog was good shit, good fun.
There's a clip doing the rounds on the internet of Ronaldo sidestepping me and me eating grass.
Oh yeah, that was good. I seen that. Do people still play British Bulldog like in school and stuff?
Probably can't get a risk assessment for that nowadays.
I reckon me and my mates, lads, if you're watching this, let's book goals out next week, but go and play British Bulldog.
That's probably illegal now.
What?
Unless you do it free aside.
Oh yeah, shit, man. All right, cancelled. Cancel that. We just got to play football. I've been getting fit again. I feel like I'm 28 again. It's good, man. Can run now for 3 minutes without dying. I'm getting there. My dream's not over, you know. United are going to get relegated. I'm going to come up. I'll be playing for Salford City next year. And then...
You do know you didn't get through the Stretford Paddock trial?
Yeah, on a technicality of a legend who didn't recommend me. But Salford City, I'm coming. What have you made of, on a serious note, all this shite going on with Project Big Picture? I've seen your video, so I know some of it. But there's been developments since.
What astounded me as much as worried me was how ready the EFL was, and clearly strapped for cash and hurting for cash they are, that they was prepared to accept this fucking bullshit.
Because the EFL, I think there was like, out of the 3 divisions, there was like 5 owners that were against it. So that's pretty much unanimous.
Yeah, it's actually sickening. Gary Neville's had a few things to say on it. You got to be wary of listening to him on this because he is an owner, and he's obviously got ulterior motives when he's talking about different stuff. But obviously he's well placed to give an opinion on this. I find it horrific. Anyone who's watched how the Glazers have run Manchester United should be horrified at the prospect of them having a big say in running the whole of English football. And the most worrying thing is taking away the democratic rights of, like, let's say Brentford managed to promote themselves into the Premier League. The Premier League currently is all 20 clubs get a vote.
Talking about Salford City.
I'll read that in a second. I'm quite surprised at that, actually. So,
yeah, the
all
voting
20
rights.
clubs get, like, so Brentford, why don't Brentford get a say? 20 clubs join the league. They're in the league. They qualified for the league. They're in the league on merit. They get a say in how the league's run. You don't get to be like, well, you've only been here 5 minutes, so you don't get to vote on how the league's run. Well, they're also not part of the EFL no more, so do they not just get a vote on how that's run? What a load of bollocks. You have to be represented. You can't take away the rights to vote from people. And at the moment, 14 clubs have to agree as a majority for any motion to pass. So that means 14 out of the 20 and something will go through. Now, to change it down to this 9 clubs, 9 sort of like longest established clubs in the Premier League, get to say on what happens, and they only now need 6 of them to agree, they could make some up today. That gets passed, and now only 6 of them have to say some shit, and they could go, right, okay, so we've decided, or 6 now, we're now going to start doing individual TV right negotiations.
Well, we already saw they had an intent from, was it last year or the year before, where they kind of came out saying, we believe that the bigger clubs should get a bigger share of the television revenue. And it kind of seems to be an extension of that, doesn't it? Because if you get these voting rights, you now have the power to force that through. But what they've tried to do is entice the EFL in with the promise of 25%, which I actually think is probably beneficial. That's because they know we're going to crank the fuck up out of these earnings on the Premier League now.
But that's 0.5% earning for each club in the EFL. Roughly.
Yeah. But I think Gary Neville was the one that said every EFL club would become sustainable.
No, they wouldn't. No.
Well, you just literally just said like a minute ago he's well positioned to speak on this.
Right. But do you know what had happened? I just see we got more money. I want more money. Not one of these clubs is currently running themselves profitably. They could all choose to run profitably, but because it's a competitive league and money is the currency that makes everything flow, most of these clubs are running at about 115% of turnover, which means that they're indebted either to the banks or to an owner or to someone like that. This is even since they've introduced financial fair play, and I think there's been talks of salary caps. All of these things are in place to make these motherfuckers run sustainably. And they choose not to. They still choose to go, nah, fuck it, we're going to buy him, or we're going to give this bit.
It's also a bit rich coming from a man that pays $5,000 a week to some players in League Two. But hey ho.
It's exactly what it is. They could become like some of these clubs earn a lot of money. Even League One and Championship clubs, they earn a lot of money. They choose to give the salaries that they choose. You can't. It's like United. United can't plead poverty and pay Luke Shaw $250,000 a week. It's not as egregious as Arsenal saying, "Listen, we're gonna have to make you lot redundant because of the Rona," and we just signed Willian. You're making mascots redundant, and you shouldn't be allowed to sign players.
Yeah, I hear that. We've got some quick. I actually want to talk about that, what we just saw.
Deschamps
Bernard has joined Salford City on loan from Man United until January. He made his first team debut against Astana last year. He played at Salford in a 6-0 EFL trophy win. What do you make of Deschamps Bernard's move to League Two Salford?
Surprised how fast Mengi overtook him, because I always rated Deschamps, and I don't think he's put a foot wrong. So Mengi must be really impressing in training to have overtaken him, because outwardly Mengi's performances have been good, but so have Deschamps', and I don't understand what the difference was. If anything, I think Deschamps offers you a little bit extra at set pieces.
Could be Tedan showing it in training, maybe.
Vidic just getting right on the end of stuff, yeah. It could be, yeah.
With the first team. I mean, if you're training up against, maybe he's kept Martial quiet or he's kept Rashford quiet, and he's...
Well, I know from some of the first team they said he's an absolute nightmare to play against, but you can wind him up and there's a red card in him. Like, he'll lose his shit.
I don't mind 4 defenders like that. I love them defenders. My favourite kind of defenders. We got some questions on the old Instagram. You can follow us. It's still at Full-Time Devils, but of course we are Stretford Paddock. Ibby says your best away day ever.
We don't do well when I go watch us away.
Okay, what's your favourite stadium to visit apart from Old Trafford?
Villa Park.
Same, snap. It's not just because I live around the corner either.
Pretty good days out at Wembley.
Yeah, but Wembley doesn't count as an away day, does it?
Not really.
It doesn't.
Southampton for the possibly Januzaj Sunderland game. There's only one of them.
Oh yeah.
So that should, I mean, it may or may not have had to do with the fact that we got home at 9 a.m. the next day. It was a good night.
My favourite away day, Bernabeu when Welbeck scored, or any at Villa Park.
Some Welbeck propaganda in here in the last couple of days, haven't
you? We love Danny Welbeck. He's available on a free, by the way. Glazers, I know you love saving some money. I know you love bringing back legends. You can do Welbeck.
Only for about 50 minutes.
We could do Welbeck. Welbeck. You up for that? Welbeck 2. I want you back. I want you back. I want Welbeck for good.
Read them out.
Will Cavani be able to break the curse of the number 7 shirts as Arjun?
No.
I think he will. Not the curse, but he'll do well in it.
I think he'll do okay.
Yeah.
But he certainly won't be a legendary number 7. Maybe that's enough.
Leon says, do you think United would consider a young English manager like Eddie Howe?
Yeah,
just been sacked by Bournemouth. When fans come back to football, should we protest by not showing up to games? Fucking hell.
Honestly,
we'll let you back in, but we're not gonna come.
Honestly, the chances of happening are fucking nil point.
I'll go on to, if you want to see what a lot of season ticket holders' thoughts are on match day protests and how to do match day protests. MUFC did a survey with season ticket holders where they asked what their preferred method of protest would be, and most voted against
Molotov cocktail.
For that, against walking out of a game, but they want to do something vocally, whatever. It's just, the horses kind of, what is that saying? Bolted? What is it? Horses bolted?
The horses go to the water, but you can't make it drink.
The horses bolted, but we can't make it drink. That's the one, I think. That's it.
For the amount of people who think we're being fucking serious. I'm going to say 17. 17 people like, you fucking pair of dicks, don't even know the phrase.
Yeah, I don't care anyway. Horses are shit.
Do I look like I own a horse?
Horses, like, what's your favourite animal? Are horses top 3 animals?
No.
So who cares?
What are your top 3 animals?
Lion. Monkey.
And a wardrobe? What?
I'm thinking of animals I want to chill with, though.
Oh, yeah, you'd chill with a lion, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I'd be
They're
able
pooping
to
you out in 2 hours.
poop. You're too big of a man to be saying the word poop. It doesn't work if you say poop. Top 3rd animal. 3rd one.
Right. The best animals are dogs.
Snake.
The best.
Nah, dogs
You want to chill with a snake?
Dogs are overrated, man.
How?
I feel like people
Name me
replace
3 other animals with a job.
people with a lack of personality tend to just have a dog. And they use their dog as their personality.
All right, that's Scousers. And they're usually a fucking Frenchie. But... Am I right?
Dogs are alright.
No, dogs have jobs. Mate, you should have seen some of the fucking dogs that we had in Afghanistan. They were mint.
Yeah, but that's, you're like, you need a friend when you're in the war.
No, it's not a friend. You couldn't go near the little fuckers. You're not allowed to go near them. But they have jobs. Like, how many animals have jobs?
Do you reckon any British service dogs got left just out there like that? Just, you reckon some Afghani farmers just got a British dog as a pet?
I think they wear dog tags.
Fuck's sake.
Those dogs they have names, ranks, and numbers. Like they're personnel.
No, it's like if someone kills that dog, they've killed a soldier, right? It's like if you hit a police horse, they'll arrest you like you've hit a policeman.
Yeah. They give them medals and shit. Yeah,
It's mad. It's mad.
Imagine being behind that guy in the queue. Like you getting the Queen's giving you medals out behind a fucking
Dog drops a fart in front.
behind the Alsatian. You're like, I don't even out. And I know some of them dogs are sergeants, so technically they outrank half the fucking people that are around them.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
I got to stand behind this fucking Alsatian in the queue.
Do you have to?
You don't salute sergeants.
Oh, you don't salute a dog. Oh shit. I want you to just salute the dog. Anyway, favorite TV dog? Spot the dog. Remember him?
Brian from Family Guy.
Who was? Oh, I remember Pippin.
What?
Do you remember Pippin in the plane?
The fuck's he doing?
Pippin and the woman in the plane. Yo, hold tight, Pippin and Mabel. Pippin's a favourite TV dog.
What
And
words coming out of your face at the minute?
Pippin and Mabel. What was the show called
What about
again?
Wellard? Where's Wellard stack up on your TV?
Coming
tags?
outside. Yeah. Me and Mabel.
Oh, Schmeichel.
We
from
always
Corrie.
come outside.
What about Schmeichel from Corrie?
Oh, that's a good dog. That's her. There she is, Pippin. Isn't she from Open All Hours as well?
I had no idea what you're showing me here. This is carnage.
Anyway. Yeah, they fly around in a plane, Pippin and the lady. Remember Rosie and Jim?
Shut me knobhead.
All right, on that note.
Dogs are the best animals. Fact.
False.
Fact.
Fiction.
Fact.
Fiction.
I'd like a gorilla though. Why have a guard dog, right? And I like dogs, but why have a guard dog when you could have a 600-pound, 6-foot vegetarian sitting in a basket instead?
Are they vegetarian?
Yeah, and jacked.
Yes.
Just sitting there eating fucking leaves or something.
Yeah, I reckon you can proper friend them up, man. I reckon they'll become.
Just get a
If you
from
can
it.
friend up a dog,
Jesus Christ.
I reckon you could teach a monkey how to speak or something. Genuine.
Just want a gorilla. Not on a chain because it's cruel.
We'll get on the dark
Just-
web in a minute.
Just
and buy
let
one.
him have him sitting there. Imagine break into your house. And you're like, oh, that's a fucking big dog bed. Turn around, he's just a big fucking,
It's a 4-poster bed.
just a fucking dude looking at you. Like, oh shit.
And that's how you can tell United are shit at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. But we are going to beat Newcastle this
What
weekend.
would you call my gorilla?
Yeah, let us know what you'd call his
gotta be
gorilla
Bruce.
in the comments below. Any
Bruce
any
is a good
comments
gorilla.
saying his gorilla's called Adam will be marked and reported as racism. So please know that.
Hang on, have you seen you? You are not a gorilla. You might be as hairy as one. But you look like somebody he'd eat, not what he'd fucking look like.
It's a bit rude, that. It's a bit.
You look like a hairy twig.
Are you body shaming me? I feel shamed. Are you supposed to feel shamed?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm embarrassed. Oh no, I'm just gonna go home and eat a chocolate. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. McKola and Howson Uncensored. Subscribe to Steve Howson. Subscribe to Stretford Paddock. Subscribe to Adam McKola.
Give us your top
Follow us on Instagram.
Dog/animals.
Yeah. How overrated are dogs? How underrated are
Guard
monkeys and gorillas?
Guard gorillas.
Guard gorillas.
Guard gorillas.
And
Get an Ivy's vest
and
with guard gorilla on it.
yeah.
And like Bruce inscription.
You can't call a gorilla Bruce.
What? Why not?
I used to have me and my nan had a budgie called Bruce.
Oh right, okay. So that right.
Guess what
Forget
he used to
anyone
say?
else that wanted to call any other animal Bruce. Forget about it.
The
Got
budgie-
fucking 2 people in the office called Adam, you dickhead.
My uncle made the budgie teach him how to say "fuck the police," and he genuinely used to say it. And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We're out of here.
Burn them for PM.